Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Joining us today is Todd Hoffman, the creator of Gold Rush on Discovery Channel, and he's currently on a show called Hoffman Family Gold, and the season 2 kicks off in June. Thanks for joining us, Todd.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge pleasure having you on for the first time. And I kind of want to discuss with you about gold, silver. There's huge chaos in the economy right now. And obviously, people are saying for the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell, it's a trap of their own making. So, how bad is the dilemma right now in the economy, and how will it affect silver and gold?
So it actually kind of scares me a little bit, because everybody's like, "Oh, we've been through this and we've been through that," but we've never really been through a systemic crash of the US dollar, right? So if that's really coming, which all the numbers add up to that, which is like, what does that look like? Well, for me, gold and silver, precious metals, and or if you had like a really nice farm and you were growing food, but most of us don't have a gold mine and don't have, a farm where you could actually grow food. So,
hmm
um, yeah, I got to be honest with you, it really scares me. I
Yeah.
mean, it really scares me where it's going.
Yeah, 100%. We're seeing right now, like you just brought up a systemic risk that could happen to the US dollar. And we've seen what happened to the Romans in the past where they devalued their currency. Do you think it's sooner or later for the US dollar? Like, could it be within the next 3, 4 years, or no, the US dollar can last another 10, 20? What do you think, Todd?
So I think a lot of it depends on the foreign, like what China does, what Russia does, what Saudi Arabia does. I'm hearing rumors, and I don't know if this is true, that Saudi Arabia is actually, selling oil to, let's say, the Chinese, and they're taking the yuan,
Hmm.
but they're just having them ship it straight over to the Shanghai Gold Exchange, and they're taking gold for oil. So that's kind of bypassing the dollar, the US dollar. I've heard numbers that there's $36 trillion outside the US that are
Wow.
in these different central banks, you know, to do business. And so if those dollars start coming back to the US, what does that look like, right? So, and then they've been printing money to get us out of trouble. Now you got the debt ceiling about ready to hit. And you know what they're going to do on that? They're going to cry like, hey, we can't take it from Social Security. So they're going to raise the debt ceiling once again. And
Hmm.
it's just, that's what the problem is that instead of like, hey, let's cut costs, no, you can't cut costs. You got to, you know, we, as Americans, we have to like balance our budgets and our bank accounts and things like that. But the federal government just literally in a computer with literally a computer stroke
Right.
creates debt, and sells these things. And like that's not sustainable. So precious metals, you're looking at 2050 the other day, gold, and then you're watching these guys try to push it back down. They can't stuff it back down under
Yeah.
2000. So JP Morgan, they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They've been fined almost 900 something $1 million. And so these guys can't keep gold down forever. They don't want to see precious metals take off, because then everybody's going to freak out and panic. And so my opinion is we got, 2 3 more years and the US dollar is going to be drastically um, lower value than where we're at
Right.
now. And then
Yeah.
what, we buy all these goods and services from all these other countries. Magnets really control the world, rare earths, magnets. And
Yeah.
we stopped making magnets years ago, because I know this because I had a magnetics company, and I watched one of my customers after another get bought by the Chinese. This was in 2001, 2002. They have like forward thinking. Now all the magnets are made by the Chinese. And
Yeah.
so they literally ration us our magnets, because there's 120 magnets in each car. So like, let alone electric cars. So like, they're rationing us our magnets. If they just said, "Ah, we're not going to give you guys magnets," then
And
we're
it's
whacked.
not just with magnets, Todd. It's with everything. It's with other commodities and with other stuff that they'll be doing it soon. Do you think commodities will be used like from China and Russia as a weapon? Like you've seen the U.S. dollar be weaponized against other countries, and other countries are now, like what you said, are moving away from it, like the BRICS nations.
So
You see,
yeah,
yeah. So what do you think is
you're
going to
right.
happen
You're
there?
you're exactly right. So like Obama tried to get hard with the Chinese one time, right? You
Hmm.
can go back and look at what happened, and Chinese went, whoop. They held off sending magnets to the U.S. Nobody knows it, and it was just this little thing, and then Obama backed out real quick, and then got fixed it, right? But they literally rationed magnets just to kind of teach us a lesson. And people don't know about magnets. You don't hear all these guys on the
Yeah,
news talking
no.
about magnets, right?
But that would hurt
Magnets
that
run the
would hurt the
world.
car industry. That will hurt every industry.
Oh, and now with all this electric push, I mean, I'm like, I drive a Tesla, it's magnets, man.
Absolutely. And I have to ask you, Todd, we are Wall Street Silver. So what do you think about silver in 2023? Is it going to be still
It's
suppressed
gonna
where
be
it
nuts.
is?
It's
Or
gonna go nuts. It's gonna go nuts. In my opinion, it's gonna go nuts. I think everybody should have a chunk of silver and I don't mean, I'm talking, man, get it.
yeah.
Try to get as much physical in your hand as you can, right? So
Are you a stacker? Do you stack silver or gold?
I can't tell. I mean, I've been, I've, that's a rumor, but yeah, it's a smart idea to have it in your hands. Silver is like kind of like, think of that as like your street money, right? You're walking around, your wealth is kind of held in gold, but your silver, you're going to be able to have smaller portions of silver to go and trade and stuff like that. Now, I don't want to get too weird with all that stuff, but
Mhm.
I drastically think that we're going to get boiled kind of like a frog, and it's going to, when you're paying, next thing you're paying $15 for eggs, and I mean, if you go into the store and just look at the average person, because I live in a town, it's not rich, a very rich town, right? I'm in the grocery store and I'm watching these families, and I'm just like watching them like look at the cash register, as they're paying for their groceries. There's a lot of stress.
Oh yeah.
It's actually happening, and it's kind of scary to me. I a lot of the Christian community is like, hey, let's just trust in God. And I'm like, I totally trust in God. I
Of
said,
course.
but I said we need to also try to be proactive and try to at least get your family in some kind of a situation where you can weather some of this stuff. And I don't know, I don't have the answers on that.
Hmm.
I've been just trying to double down on my properties with gold and to try to get more efficient in how I mine. Last year I did really well. This year I'm going to do 3 times that. So I might just peak at gold mining right at the right time. So,
Let's
uh,
talk about the mining. Like you're huge in that. You made the gold rush on the Discovery Channel, which was really popular. So, but
yeah.
let's talk more about mining and silver and gold side. Do you think that, let's say, in the next 5, 10 years, as we're pushing to a green revolution, and silver is going to be used, and all these rare earth metals going to be used in all these electric cars and green energy, who doesn't get their silver? Like, would it be the investor that doesn't get their silver and it goes straight to industrial? And you're in the mining industry, so do you see like less pure silver plays out there? What are you seeing?
Silver is usually it's you have placer mine, which is like I mine the surface where like a mountain got eroded and the gold veins got put into little creeks and in benches, and so I mine placer. Silver and most gold is hard rock, which is done, a lot of it's in Nevada,
Hmm.
just all over the world. But to get my personal opinion is, yes, you're going to have silver. There's also like one of the only graphite mines is up by us. It's called Graphite One. You can buy their stock. It's I think it's like only 80 cents, but they've had some really nice strikes, and graphite's going to be used in this electric motors. You're going to have a lot more silver, more industrial with silver.
Hmm.
But there's gold in every cell phone and things like that. But I think we're going to see something weird, and I think it's going to come out of the Shanghai Gold Exchange or whatever it's called over there. I think that gold is actually really about the value of gold and silver is probably double where it is right now. And you have all of these people, these traders that can manipulate the paper, right?
Hmm.
And with all these other things, that a lot of it that I don't understand, and they can actually hold that price down, right? But I really think what's going to happen is you may come out with this, there's always talk about there's going to be a new currency with Russia and all these different guys, and
Right.
it will be backed maybe 20% with actual physical gold. And if that happens, if this is actually really put into place with the Chinese, we're talking about gold being at $5,000-$10,000 an ounce.
Oh yeah, and the Chinese could be underreporting how much gold they have
They
too.
are underreporting everything. Go into South America, go into any of these countries, and you'll just be driving through the jungle, and you'll come into a Chinese mine.
Really?
Oh yeah, with Chinese nationals, and I mean, and they'll, it's violent. It can get violent. So they're all over. They're building these huge infrastructure through Africa, highways and stuff, because they go and they loan money to, say, an African country, right?
Hmm.
And
And they
then
get like
they
a lease.
they collateralize it with, say,
Right.
a port or like the docks, and
Or the
then
mines.
yeah, and so then you get this country, and if they, not saying they would, but like, say the president runs off with the money, the people are ripped off by their natural resources, because the Chinese now have control of the ports and the natural resources,
For like a
so
hundred
the
years.
mining. Huh?
More, some of them are like 100 years, like 99-year leases
Oh
on the
yeah.
ports.
Yeah. So like they got this big plan, and they're going after it.
Todd, just getting a little bit back to gold. Central banks now are buying more gold now than they have in the past 55 years. And a lot of people are saying they're preparing for something big like de-dollarization. With central banks buying more gold now than they have in the past 55 years, do you think they're preparing for something huge?
Well, if you look at the first quarter of 2023, just look at the how much central banks are buying gold. You don't
Right.
see them buying Bitcoin.
No.
I think they're going to outlaw it.
You think they're going to outlaw Bitcoin?
They could.
Yeah, they could
They could.
regulate. They could regulate every single bank to not make any
Every
transaction. Yeah.
yes, China, they could outlaw it, and you can't hide it, because you can see the IP. You can see on the internet, like, transactions that are Bitcoin transactions. You can,
It's not like gold.
it's not like gold. Like, you don't know. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so that could be a possibility if everybody jumps off of everybody's fiat currency. Why wouldn't, if you're seeing, like, you're say in France, you're seeing everybody pile out of the franc or whatever the dollar is, then you're seeing them, like, going into Bitcoin. They could literally get all this everybody together and say, okay, guys, this is we're going down here. Our fiat currencies are going down. We need to actually block all Bitcoin transactions from our country. And
Right.
they can control all the IP addresses all through. I mean, I used to have an internet company. I sold it for a couple $1 million, like, in '99, right? I mean, I know how this stuff works. So, like, they could outlaw Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Now,
just keep regulating
will
it.
they do it right now? They're like, no, but I think China did it for a minute, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did it just to have their own crypto, their own digital
They're all
because
going to
you
want their
can't.
own digital. They want
Yeah,
to they want to be able to control, who's spending what and where it's going, which is pretty much the end of any kind of
freedom.
autonomy,
Yeah,
freedom. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy.
I
Well,
hate to be such a downer, man. I
no,
mean, hey,
yeah.
look at us silver and gold guys. I mean, it's actually going to be a really good time
Oh
for
yeah,
us.
great time for us, but no,
It
it's
is.
sad to see the economy like
Well,
this
then
for sure.
friggin' jump in. That's why you're here. That's why I'm
Yeah,
here. It's like,
yeah,
guys,
exactly.
let's get on board on some of this stuff. You know,
Exactly.
I don't
Well,
know.
Todd, it's been a huge pleasure having you on to Wall Street Silver, and hopefully, as the market develops, we can have you back on.
Yep, and my new show comes out in June, so make sure
Yes.
everybody jumps on Hoffman Family Gold Discovery Channel. They haven't given me the date yet, but it is kicking off in June.
We'll
So
we'll have you back on before
thanks.
hopefully it comes on, and then we'll talk about it more.
All right, thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Take care.